On this video, I'm going to teach you how to make this cute little AirPod case holder. This is a perfect gift. It's really quick to make and you use very little yarn. So it's perfect if you have a lot of scrap yarn at home. For mine, I used a 4mm hook, 100% cotton size 4, a yarning needle, and some scissors. Let's do it. So we're going to start with a slip knot. The way that I make my slip knots is I wrap my yarn around these two fingers like this. I grab the back strand over the front strand, then now that back strand again a second time, and now one more time, and then you can pull it all down. This is just the way that I do my slip knots. You might have a different technique, or you might want to look at a video that goes more in depth into how to do this. Now we're going to create a base ring. So for that, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to be doing a slip knot to the first chain that you made. A slip stitch. So that first chain, insert your hook into it, grab the yarn, and close it off. And now this here is going to be our base ring. We're going to be working into the center of it. Now for row 1, we're going to chain 3. And this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Now you're going to do 2 double crochets into the ring. So yarn over, into the ring, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that's a double crochet, and you want to do 1 more. So yarn over, go into the ring, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your first group of double crochets. So now we're going to start the row repeat. It starts by chaining 2. And then doing 3 double crochets into the ring. So yarn over, into the ring, and these I'm going to do a bit faster now. 3 double crochets. And this is our second group of double crochets and our first corner. Now we want to do that again. Chain 2, 3 double crochets into the ring. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 again. And we're going to do our final group of double crochets. So into the ring, 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. And now we have 4 groups of double crochets. So now you just want to do your final corner here. So chain 2. And we're going to be doing a slip stitch to the top of the turning chain. The top of the chain 3 that you started with. Not the turning chain, sorry. The top of the chain 3 that you started with. Because that one counted as a double crochet. So you find the third chain, the top of it, and then do a slip stitch. Now this here is the end of row 1. For my next row, I'm going to be changing colors. I can actually go ahead and cut off this color. If you are not changing colors and you want to continue just with the one, then you want to get yourself to this corner. So you would be doing slip stitches all the way there. You would do a slip stitch, I'll demonstrate here. You would do a slip stitch into the first stitch of the previous row, into the second, and then into the corner or the chain space. And from here, you want to start your row 2. In my cases, I'm going to be changing colors. I'm going to undo this, undo those slip stitches until the one that was done to the top of the chain 3. And if you're also changing colors with me, then go ahead and chain 1 to secure your stitches. Grab your scissors. And we're going to be cutting our yarn, leaving a tail so you can weave it in later. Now we can actually move on to row 2. So now my new color here, I'm actually just going to fold a tail like this. You could create a slip knot as well, but I'm just going to fold a tail and then bring it to my corner here. I like to attach my color at the same corner, so I'm going to be doing it here. And I'm gonna actually also grab my tail from the previous row to hide it a little bit. Grab my new color and pull it through around the corner chain space. Now we're going to chain 1 to secure it. Now you're going to start here by creating your first double crochet. So chain 3 and then do 2 double crochets into that same corner space. So you do 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 2. And then you want to do a group of double crochets into that same corner. So 3 double crochets into the same corner. Sorry. Here is 1, 2, and 3. And that's the corner there. So now we can start the row repeat. It starts by chaining 1. Then you're going to find the next chain 2 space or corner. And into it, you're going to work 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Then a chain 2. And into the same corner, another 3 double crochets. And that there ends the repeat. So you can go back to the beginning of it by chaining 1, finding your next chain 2 space, and into it doing 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, then a chain 2, and into the same corner, another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we'll do this one more time. We're going to be chaining 1, finding our next corner, which is this one here. So into it, doing our final repetition of 3 double crochets. Pull this. 3 double crochets. This is my third one here. I chain 2 and then 3 double crochets into the same corner here. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do our final chain 1 here and a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that you started with. That was your double crochet. So top of the chain 3, insert your hook and do a slip stitch. Now this here is the end of row 2, and we're going to do one more row of this to add a little bit more width and height to the square, make it a little bigger. So now for my next row, I'm going to be incorporating my third color. And again, if you're just working with one color, then you want to get yourself to the corner space by doing a slip stitch to the first 2 stitches and then 1 to the chain space of the corner. In my case, I'm just going to be doing a chain 1 and cutting my yarn. And I'm going to pull it through. And now I'm going to be bringing my new color and start row 3. I'm going to do the same thing I did for row 2, where I just fold the yarn, connect it to the same corner, like the same side, which is my upper left. Now I'm going to bring in my new color, pull it through, and from here just chain 1. Now I'm going to be doing a chain 3 that will count as a double crochet. And into that corner, I'm going to be doing 2 double crochets. Now we want to chain 2. And into that same corner, do 3 double crochets. And that's 1, 2, and 3. So now we can start the repeat. You're going to start by chaining 1, and then into the chain 1 space of the previous row between the groups of double crochets, we're going to be working 3 double crochets just around the chain space. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now we are going to chain 1, go into the next corner space, and into it we're going to work a group of 3 double crochets. A chain 2, and then into the same corner another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And that there ends the repeat. So you can go back to the beginning of it. We're going to start with a chain 1, and then into the next chain 1 space you want to work your 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 and do the corner space repetition, which is 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. This is my 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. And that there ends the repeat. So I want to do it almost 2 times. I'm going to be doing this off camera until I've done this corner repetition, and then I'll meet you here. Go back to the beginning of the repeat with your chain 1, 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space, chain 1, and then the corner repetition. And I'll see you when you're here. Okay, I just did my final corner repetition here. So we're going to do the end together. You're going to start the repeat by doing a chain 1. And into the final chain 1 space here, we're going to be doing 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do a final chain 1, and you're just going to do a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that you started with. So into that 3rd chain, insert your hook and do a slip stitch. And this is the end of the square that you want for the size of the case. I'm going to be threading my ends through, and then doing a second square. So once I have that, I'll show you how to connect them. Okay, I just finished my 2 squares here. How cute. I'm using my scrap yarn, and so, I'm trying to make sure that I use whatever I have the least amount of in the first row, and then I move on to the outsides. And now I've run out of colored yarn, so I'm actually going to have to use this white to put it together. So we're going to start by doing a slip knot with our color that we're going to be attaching the squares with. And now we want to make sure that the right side is facing the outside on both sides. So this is the right side of the square. This is the wrong side of the square. You can tell the difference by the way it looks. And so you want to make sure that when you attach it, both right sides are facing out. So once you have those lined up, well, given that you have the same, the exact same amount of stitches on either side because it's the same square, we're going to be aligning the corners together. And now grab your hook and go through the first corner. Again, I'm following the pattern of doing the top left corner every time. Grab your new color, your new yarn. and then bring it through. We are going to chain 1, and into this corner we're going to insert 2 single crochets. So there is 1 and 2. Now basically we want to do a single crochet for each stitch and chain of each side. So you're going to go through the first double crochet and the same double crochet in the back. So this one here, the same one that aligns to the one at the front, and through both of them do a single crochet. Same with the next one. You just got to make sure that you're going through both of those stitches at the same time and do a single crochet. Now here we have the chain 1 space between the groups of double crochets. So around both of those, do a single crochet. Next will be the stitch, making sure you're going through both of those double crochets. So when you get to the corner, it gets a little bit trickier to catch both stitches. But again, because you have the same amount of stitches and chain 1s on each square, they line up, so it's not as hard. Now here's a chain 1 space between the groups of double crochets. So around the chain, just 1 single crochet. Now this is my last group of double crochets before the corner. This is the last one here. Okay, and now we have the corner space. So around the chain space on both squares, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets. And then that ends the repeat. So now we want to do this across this side and this side. So you just want to do 3 sides total. This last one we're going to work a bit differently. So I'm going to be doing 1 single crochet in each one of the stitches on both sides to close the square. Then around the chain space, all the way to the corner. In the corner you do 2, and then repeat all the way down. I'll meet you when you're at this corner. Okay, I just joined my 3 sides here. And so when you get to this corner, I'm going to do my corner repetition of 2 single crochets around the chain space. And now we're going to be working just on 1 panel at a time. So the square that's closest to me, I'm just going to be working into those stitches. I'm still going to do 1 single crochet into the stitches, but just in the front square. Now 1 around the chain 1 space. Now 1 into each of the stitches, into this double crochet, which is the first, and this next one, which is the middle double crochet of this group. And I'm going to stop right there because that's kind of the center of the square. So here I'm going to be creating the little loop where the tail is going to go through, to show you. So this little loop here we're going to be creating. So for that, we are going to be chaining 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you want to do a single crochet into that same stitch that you're currently in. So into the same stitch, just a single crochet. Now you want to continue doing 1 single crochet into each stitch and chain 1 space. This looks a little weird, guys, because there was the yarn kind of ran out there and I had to connect it. So I'm going to have to skip over that because it's just a knot, to be honest. Is the chain 3 that I started with. In your case, do your single crochet into it And now that's my middle double crochet of that group. And this is the last double crochet of this panel and this side. So now I'm going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of this side here. Into it, we want to do a slip stitch. And now you can flip your work. We're going to be doing the same thing into each of the stitches of this panel, the back square. So I'm going to go and do my single crochet into the first double crochet. Now into the next one. Now into the next one. Now into the chain 1. Now into the double crochet. And now here is the middle double crochet. So one single crochet into it. And now you're going to be working the chain like the, I can't think of the word for this. The strap, I guess, that goes through the loop. So personally, I don't want mine to be super long. If you want yours to be longer, then go ahead and do more chains. In my case, I believe I chained 15. So I'm going to do a chain of 15 and see how long that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can kind of gauge it by folding it. I want it to be a little longer. So I'm going to do 5 more for a total of 20 chains. So yeah, this looks good to me. 20 chains for my strap. And I'm going to go back to that same stitch and do a single crochet. And now to finish off, just do a single crochet into each stitch and chain space of this panel to complete. My last double crochet here. And now I just want to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the corner. And then you can go ahead and cut off your yarn and thread your ends through, and you're all done.